To just go live all over our platforms right now. Hi, everybody! How you doing? So let me ask you a question. Have you ever faced your day and felt like you know what you're supposed to do? You know that you either, you've got to have a hard conversation with someone you love, and so that you're not triggered with someone you love, or you've got to do sales calls, or maybe you got to hire a coach, or whatever it is. Like, you need to do something, you need to work out, but for whatever reason you don't feel like it. Yes or no? Let me know that. Yes or no? So this is the context of today's Shanda on Demand. How do I get so much done? How do I put myself in a position where there are some things that bleed, right? There are some things that bleed in my life, and put a B for bleed. And then there's some things that get prioritized. And I want to talk about this today because your life matters, your business matters, your impact matters. You're on a runway. In other words, I'm on a runway before I hit 50 years old. After 50, I'm sure I'll be on a runway to 60. After 60, I'm sure I'll be on a runway to 70. But here's the thing. You're also on a runway to one of the best financial markets we've ever faced in many of our lives. And I'm telling you, the level of complacency, I know I'm probably not winning any big fans right now, but the essence of complacency, the essence of I'm working really hard, but still I don't feel like doing certain things, or I don't have the urgency to do certain things to close the gap. So I want everybody to write this down. I complete everything I start. So I hate open loops. They drive me crazy. If I'm walking through my bedroom, true story, if I'm walking through my bedroom and I see, clothes on the ground, or I see bills in the corner, or I see, who lives like that sometimes? Like, you've got bills that you need to open right now and you need to pay them, or you need to go check your bank account. All last month on Shanda on Demand, which is right now, all last month, I showed how to create $1 million years, $1 million months, $1 million half years, and $1 million days, which, by the way, are totally possible. That's not an income claim, but they're totally possible. What stops us from doing it is a sense of urgency. See, when you've got things to solve, problems to solve in your life, and you don't solve them, then I'm telling you, you can work as hard as you want, but you don't get to have the $1 million years, the $1 million months, the $1 million days. And your children are watching, your friends are watching, your parents are getting older and they need support. My point is that it's time for us to close some gaps. So if you want to close some gaps today, we're going to talk about that. So number one is, there are things in my life that I allowed to bleed. I allow them to bleed. Okay. And so put the word bleed if you're on any of our platforms. Hi, TikTok. I'm never live with you guys, but I'm live now. I'm going to start pouring into you guys a bit here, because we're at such a great time that if we could get the urgency underneath us, if we could get the jet fuel underneath the jet, which is us, to produce the results that we want, then we're going to have an epic end of the year. So there's still a lot of time left in the year, but let's be honest. We got Black Friday coming up. Okay, how many of you guys have already started thinking about your Black Friday offers? Who's already started thinking about your Black Friday offers? I'm starting to percolate on them now, right? I'm starting to percolate on them now. So you're not behind, but maybe we are behind. What if thinking that we were behind actually set a fire underneath us? See, the world tries to water us down. I mean, I own a personal development training, and I will tell you, if you get so fascinated with your breakdowns, you don't put the fire underneath you to take off. Okay, so I already know that some of you guys have worthiness issues. Good news is you can have worthiness issues and still make millions. Okay, and don't make millions just for yourself. Make millions for the type of person you become. Now, there are things that you are going to need to let bleed. Those are things that are not priorities to you. Okay, they may be priorities to other people in your life, but they're not necessarily priorities to you right now. Okay, what's a priority? Okay, so here's what I'm going to recommend you do today. Everybody, write this down and tell me if this is helpful. Okay, tell me if this is helpful. Say yes or no if this is helpful. Okay, I'm trying to hold you accountable and in the container to just absolutely get so far ahead of comfort that you never again think, oh, I'm doing okay. Okay is dangerous. You don't want to do okay. You want to be so far ahead that if another COVID hits and you have to sit in your house and you can't work and your spouse can't work, or your you've got no other streams of income, that you can be in a position that you can wait it out for the next year and not go under. Okay. And in that year, do you know what's so amazing with space is that with space, you hear the guidance to be able to take action. Okay. It's like some of you guys, and admit to me right now, some of you guys are too busy. You're so busy, it hurts. And some of you guys are so busy that you can't get your head up to think about what you're working on. Is that you? Yes or no? Right? Is that you? Yes or no? Some of you guys are so busy that, and honestly, there's things that you just need to let bleed. There's things that you just, so what do I let bleed? Okay, so let me give you a rundown of things that I need to get done right now. And you think about yours. Here's what I need to get done right now. I need to finish off the chapters to my book Runway. I really wanted that done in July. I've never not hit my mark. And I'm telling you, I made some bad decisions at the beginning of this year, the end of last year, and I've learned from them. Every great entrepreneur I know has this year in their story. Okay. It's just, my point is that it's okay to make bad decisions. It's okay to get hurt. It's okay to fall in love with the wrong person. It's okay to hire the wrong coach. It's okay to be lazy sometimes. It's okay. It's called human. And I more don't trust the person who has never had a breakdown than the person who sits there and says, oh my gosh, I always win at everything. No, you don't. We always lose at something. But I always hit my commitments as of 6 years ago. And as of 6 years ago, I started hitting my commitments. And what I realized is that I was playing too small. Okay, so I want to have a real conversation with you right now because I want to unhook you from any shame, any condemnation, any guilt, any of that. Some of you guys put that energy on people that you love. You got to stop. And you got to stop accepting it for yourself. But you do need to know, what do you need around you to be successful? And you got to stop blaming the fact that you can't get that phone call, or you can't find that client, or you can't build a buyer's list, or you don't know what to sell, or you don't know what your price points are. Like, you got to stop standing at this space of, I'm helpless. Does that relate to anybody? Put the letter H if you've ever felt helpless. Because if you feel helpless, you're not making a decision. But if you're willing to risk courageously, this is a great moment right now. Don't miss this. It's a great moment right now. Everything you want is within today making a courageous decision. You are not going to feel ready. You are not going to have enough resources, and it's going to be a risk. I don't know how entrepreneurs build businesses without faith. I really don't. But here's what I can tell you. If you're not the leader that takes urgent action, you will not make it. You will not make it. So you don't have to make the right decision. That's a great hook. Let yourself off the hook. You don't have to make the right decision. You can make tons of wrong decisions and end up winning. Why? You did it fast enough. So I want to talk to you about how I get so much done. And I'm gonna roll through this really quickly. I write a list of all the things that I need to get done. I need to get my book done of Runway. I need to look over the calendars for the rest of the year and stick to my commitments no matter what's happening in my team. I need to get that done today. I need to hire a new copywriter. I would like to hire a president for Heartcore Business that can run next to me, that understands copy or understands marketing, understands financials, understands operations. I really want to look into that, right? I really want to start interviewing for that role. I need to carve out more time, which I did last night, to put 2 homeschooling sessions for 1 hour with my son every single week. So I scheduled that last night. Okay, I scheduled that last night. And so the reason why is because guilt or fear starts to push in. How many of you guys can relate to me? where I don't want, as much as I have great help to homeschool my son, I don't want anybody else to not have a level of leadership, of urgency. I want my son to have that urgency. And so the only way I can make sure that's happening is if I get in with him and spend a couple hours every week. I probably really only need 2 30-minute sessions, but I schedule 2 1-hour sessions, and they're scheduled in my calendar. They're non-negotiable. Now, does that mean I drop what I'm doing at work? No. And I'm going to be really honest, that would make me a loser. And I would train my children that they couldn't handle like playing big in their career and having a family. That's just not true. I'm not a loser. You're not a loser. Okay. I know these words are harsh, but people think it and they talk like that behind closed doors. The successful people talk like that behind closed doors. Many of them do, where they say, I'm not going to lose. I'm not going to lose for God. I'm not going to lose for my family. I'm not going to settle for my relationship going in the dumpers. I'm not going to settle for my finances being in the dumpers. I'm not going to settle for that. I'm going to step in. I'm going to take urgent action and I'm going to go. So I need to plan first quarter of next year. I have my outline from my mastermind in November. I need to distribute it to my team tomorrow, right? So I got a lot to do. You guys relate to this? I know you do too. I'm just showing you like it's all a priority, right? Like it's all a priority. None of it is not a priority. So here's what I do is I write, some of you guys know this, but you still don't do it. And that's what I mean by, that's the complacency. Call it lazy, call it complacent. It doesn't matter what word you want to call it. It's not talking down to yourself by just calling it out. It's actually being honest about the fact that you can make a change to that. As long as I think and you think it's impossible and I stand in this place of helplessness, we don't make a decision because we've given our power away. Did you guys hear that? So I can't afford that, neither can you. I can't afford that as a mother. I can't afford that as a businesswoman. I can't afford that as somebody on a runway to my life and wanting to create what I want to create. I can't afford that. Like I can't afford to sit there in a space of helplessness when you are so capable. Like you really are so capable. If you wanted to drive anything to completion, if you wanted to get out of unstuck, you 100% could do that right now. Do you understand what I'm saying? Yes or no? You 100% could do that right now. And the worst thing you could do is watch these lives and not engage. Not share it, not comment. That's like the worst thing you could do. Why? Because you're too consumed with what I'm saying when you need to get in relationship with what I'm saying. You need to get fired up with what I'm talking about right now. You need to light up the chats with what I'm talking about right now, my DMs. And the reason why I'm saying that is because as you get engaged and communicate and get in relationship with what I'm talking about, you unleash yourself to go to the next level. See, I write a list of all the things that I know I need to do. I'm going to recommend all of you guys do this today. You call it a to-do list, which is highly ineffective. Leaving it on a piece of paper at the end of the day, having really a lot of it still to do. Am I right or am I right? Yes or no? Am I right? Am I right? Is your to-do list still ever going at the end of the day? The problem with that is when you put your head down to sleep, you don't feel like you got enough done. So no wonder you feel like you're not enough because you tell yourself that every day because of the systems that you have in play. So what if you could run the system differently and realize that if you're playing a big game, you will always have things growing on the to-do list. Like the goal is not to get the to-do list empty. I mean, that's the goal of the average person, but that's not you. See, average people set average goals and they have these really, really high ideas of what it means to be successful. What it means to be successful is being honest with yourself, being super urgent, making decisions and doing it scared. Doing it scared. So I write a list of all the things, all my to-dos. And then some of you guys have heard me say this before. I prioritize them. P1, P2, P3. When do you think my life falls apart? When do you think my life falls apart? I will tell you when my life falls apart. My life falls apart when I stop doing this. Whenever I stop doing this, I find that I'm spinning. I find that things are not getting done. I find that my open loops in my life are all over the place, and I feel like there's not enough time in the day. That's exactly what happens when I don't do this system. It's a simple system, but don't underestimate it. So my priority ones, my priority twos, and my priority threes are just what I put next to all my to-do list. And what I do is all my priority ones are things that no matter how I feel, if I got those done right now, like right now, this week, like they're up, they're urgent, then things would be, I would be sleeping really well. I'd be winning. So what I do is I take these priority ones and I have a daily focus. Okay, so I was up at 5 a.m. this morning. Some of you guys know I've moved to Puerto Rico from San Diego. It's amazing. And, you know, the office I chose in this house is dark. I don't like it. It's uninspiring. I feel helpless. So I changed that. So I found another room. And by the way, God will always give you visions, ideas, nudges, that thought that you keep getting over and over and over again. Follow it. Just try it. Stop being stubborn. Okay. And so I kept seeing this back room in this beautiful home that we rented in Puerto Rico as we're looking for a house to buy. And I went in there and I started working in it as my office. And it's not set up like an office, but there's something about that room that lights me up. I prayed in it this morning. I anointed it this morning and I sat there and I worked and it was awesome. Okay. And so look for where you're being nudged and just don't fight it. There are areas in certain, like, first of all, you got to be able to work anywhere, but there are areas that you'll feel called to that you're more productive. And sometimes when your sleep is low or your motivation is low, you've got to follow those nudges to be able to raise your productivity. So what I do in my focus time is this is 90 minutes. Now you don't have to do 90 minutes. I know everybody has a different leadership ability right now. Okay, so if you're a single mom or you're a husband, wife going through divorce, I'm sorry if that's happening with you right now. You should reach out to us about our Hardcore Leadership Program. We've saved many, many marriages and have even had divorces come back together and marry. Crazy, right? So if you want to know about our HCL program, you can put HCL in the chat or DM me on TikTok. But my point is that we're in different seasons where we feel like we can or can't help ourselves in a certain area. So you've got to get yourself out of helplessness and move yourself into leadership driven. You got to be able to drive something forward. This helps. So no less than 30 minutes on your daily focus time, Monday through Friday. And say you can't do Fridays. Well, then maybe you do Saturdays. Well, Saturdays are the weekend. I don't know what to tell you, but how strong is your drive? Right? If your drive just for yourself, you're going to want balance. But when your drive is for other people, when you truly become a servant, like the Bible says something that I think is really powerful. It doesn't matter if you're into the Bible, but if you like God, who likes God, put a G in the chat or DM. Right? If you like God, then it doesn't matter if you're into the word or the Bible or whatever you're into. But if you like God, here's what scripture says. It says literally that if you want to lead and be at the top, like you want to be at the top of the table with the top influencers, you want to be at the top of your engagement, you want to be at the top of your industry, then you have to become servant-based, which means you serve everyone, including your virtual assistants, including the people that you work with, you serve everyone. If you want to be number one, you got to become a slave. So hear what I'm saying about that. The word slave in scripture means it's like you would wash their feet. Like I'm the boss and I would wash your feet. When I lead our zone events, I go in the woman's bathroom and I pick up toilet paper off the ground. You know how hotel bathrooms get disgusting? We have thousands of people that come to our zone event. We have almost 4,000 tickets or 3,800 tickets that are sold right now for our zone event. And we still don't have a venue, not from lack of trying on a weekly basis. It is very hard to find a venue for 3,000, 4,000 people when some of you guys won't even do a webinar without picking a date. I mean, people will sign up. They're ready to go, right? And so, but it's very hard because during COVID, everybody moved their events out. So the hotels are charging ridiculous amounts of money to be able to do events that size. If you have a small event, you can get in, but a big event, it's really, really tough. I mean, the last venue we found, sorry, I'm going down a tangent, but like I feel helpless in that area. So now what we're doing is we're meeting on a weekly basis to start structuring what are the ways that we can do that. Can we do an RSVP? You got to get yourself back into where's the priority to book zone event, right? Is it priority 1, 2, or 3? If it's just on my to-do list floating around, it like never gets driven to completion. So you hear what I'm saying? If I don't do this, I lose. If I do this, I win. So don't take this for granted. During my focus time, I take my priority ones the night before and I put it on my calendar. And I literally do my focus time here. So ideally in San Diego, I did my focus time from 9 a.m. to 10:30, and I would work out earlier. Here in Puerto Rico, I do a workout at 8 a.m., which works in some ways, but doesn't work for my focus time. And it's really thrown me off balance. Has anybody ever gotten off balance? It's really thrown me off balance. It's made it very victim-y on my side. You wouldn't know it. My husband doesn't know it. Nobody around me knows it. But I feel like I'm chasing my tail, trying to get on top of my schedule. So you're like, why, Shanda, you're sharing like how you do so much, but I'm also sharing the human aspect of it. It's not like you're superhuman all the time. Do you guys see what I'm saying? Like, permission to be human, but don't stay there. That sounds weird. Don't stay there as a human, but don't stay there. Like, you've got to get back in the system that makes you productive. So here's another thing I want to say before I nail this down, and then we'll finish today's live. I had a call with my friend Dean Graziosi. He called me up, said, I want to talk to you. I said, let's talk. He changed the call the next day because he couldn't talk. And then he said, I'll call you this week. And he didn't call me, and we've never talked. Okay, why would I tell you that? Well, because I have no grudge towards the fact that he didn't make it to the call. He had a human moment. He was playing big. My friend Jesse Itzler, same thing, called Jesse up and said, hey, he's married to Sarah Blakely. I was like, super high performer, right? Billionaire, super high performer. I was like, Jesse, I want to run some team stuff by you for some advice. This was maybe 5 months ago. He said, great. He goes, let's do it. Let's say Friday at what time? Called him up, didn't get him on the phone. Human moment. Okay. Now I will tell you, if I have to shift a call, move a call, it doesn't happen very often, but I will tell you there's a group of people who will cancel their programs with me because they're that entitled. You know who you are. This isn't like about like you canceled with me, but like, you know who you are. There's people who will judge. And I'm sharing this because you want to unhook from this. Because everybody playing a big game has messy, human, unproductive moments that you miss the mark. And the bigger you're playing, the more that happens. What you can't see and what people can't see about you is all the balls that are juggling. Now, does that mean that I'm not a mom? No, I'm doing story time with my son today. Like I have an hour story time with him with a bunch of kids. My husband will do karate with him tonight. Okay. What else can I tell you? I did Bible studies with my son this morning before we got going for the day. That was the first thing we did. And then we sat and talked about what we were grateful for. So when you run plans like this, even though balls do drop, you can still keep your number one priorities here. And sometimes other people's number one priorities. Like I can't tell you how many times people reach out to me and say, Shanda, I feel like I need to get on the phone with you. Will you please just get on the phone with me? No, I very rarely can get on the phone with you because my schedule is packed. It's absolutely packed. But there is space in my calendar that is a non-negotiable. They're buffer spaces. And that's where I have space for, say, my kid gets sick, or my husband needs to talk to me, or I need to walk around the block and just clear my head, that there's space for me to do it. But I will tell you what I'm planning on doing, and this is something that I'm moving up to, is scheduling every hour of my day. And when I schedule every hour of my day based on this, life rocks. Now, I'm not saying that everybody can get there right now, but where you can get is this. If you do this every single day, Monday through Friday, you will accomplish more than probably most people that are in your space. You will sleep better. You will make lots of money if you make that a priority. And you will do very, very well. You won't miss the mark on the things that you care about. Now, priority 2 and 3 are usually things that you waste your time on. in your day, and that's the reason why priority one doesn't happen. So if you are an entrepreneur, priority one should be building an email list and a text message list, period. You can go to trainmeshanda.com. I'll talk to you about how I did it. If you're a Mentor Me Live, you're already in that process right now. But trainmeshanda.com will tell you how I actually built the list, why I got successful, and why I have so much space in my calendar. Okay, why I keep my family, my fitness. I don't strive for balance. That's the opposite thing of what I strive for. I don't strive to watch another Netflix show. In fact, I watched a Netflix. The last time I watched TV was, I think, 3.5 months ago, 4 months ago. And two people that work for us that were in our house in California walked by me at 2 different times. And I was just having like a Netflix moment. And they were, oh my God, you're human. Yeah, because it's a human moment. But it doesn't happen all the time. See, the majority of the time I run my calendar like this. And when I run my calendar like this, people will think you're superhuman, but you're not. You're just getting 60 or 90 minutes of highly productivity time, which means there are no meetings during this time. There is no like, my husband and I are planning our life. This is work only. This is, I'm writing my book. This is, I'm doing pocket coaching. You guys who gets pocket coaching from me? Put a PC in the chat. If you love pocket coaching, let us know you love pocket coaching, right? So I create my content during there. I write my book there. I plan my masterminds there. I don't Bible study there. Totally different. This is work only. I am working. Okay, like I am actually producing results during that time. So I want to end this live and tell you, tomorrow I have a very, very special guest. TikTok, unfortunately, I won't be able to stream to you guys, but you guys can 100% go jump on our Instagram. Actually, you can't even do that. You got to jump on our Hardcore Business Facebook page. TikTok, go to Hardcore Business Facebook page, go subscribe to that page today, and be there at 10 a.m. Eastern time tomorrow. I'm going to have my friend Scott Donalds on. He's one of the best leaders I've ever met. He's launched multiple companies, all in a slavery mentality. Okay, I won't get into it right now. None of it was because the hair on his arms raised and he felt so fulfilled that he was going to go do this. He did it because he was taking care of other people. It was a need. It started with his wife. And we're going to outline this tomorrow. I've never interviewed him on our platforms. He's extraordinary. He just sold a company. He is, God, is he even 40? I mean, he's one of my really good friends. It's funny, I don't even know he's 40. I've never even asked him. He's actually going to be here at the end of the month in Puerto Rico. He's flying in with his wife. But he's got one company that went to an IPO, and he didn't know what he was going to do. He was actually going to be a preacher, and he went to school for it, and they told him, "You're not a preacher." Imagine that. I mean, I've told people that they're selling the wrong products and they get mad at me. They're like, "Oh, Shanda, I feel so unsupported." I'm like, why? Why would you feel unsupported? That's why you hired me. And so my friend Scott was told he was not a preacher, and that's what he went to school for. Dedicated his whole life. And they're like, "You're an entrepreneur. You are a serial entrepreneur. We should work for you." He's now launched multiple companies. He's crushing it. And I want him to show you what he does to get more done. And I think if you put what I do today and what he does tomorrow, I think if you just even pulled one nugget out of both, and this would be the nugget I would pull from you 100%, right? I let these bleed for a little bit and they become priority ones. This is basically so I just don't forget. Priority 3 is just, I don't want to forget that thing I want to do. Do you guys hear what I'm saying? Yes. So tomorrow, TikTok, come to Hardcore Business Facebook page. Tomorrow I'll have Scott on. We're going to outline how the frick does he have 4 kids, young, a wife, he dates her. It's tough. Launch companies. He hires teams. Some of you guys don't feel ready to hire mentors. You don't feel ready to hire sales teams. You don't feel ready to hire a C-level executive because you're just getting started and you're little. What if you didn't hold yourself there? What if you held yourself where Scott holds himself? He didn't know what he was doing. He hires full-blown teams before he even has the money to hire them. And he builds companies and he stands at the top. And it's his vision. Many of you guys have great vision. and you trust your vision to help people. The problem is you don't know how to work the weeds. I want to show you how to work the weeds tomorrow. And Scott's going to be on with me. So we're going to end on that. I hope you guys love Shanda on Demand. You guys who are brand new, if you're brand new, send me a message and just put new so I know that you're brand new. If you're on Facebook, YouTube, whatever, Facebook group, put new if you're brand new. TikTok, send me a DM and put new if you're new. This is our way of running between now and the end of the year to have you focusing on making money. The first and second and third quarter of next year, but forget about the second and third. Keep your urgency in check. You need $25,000 minimum by the first quarter of next year. I'm going to show you what to do with that towards the end of this year. Track with us. If you need to hire us, you can put coach in any of the chats or DM me. But whatever you do, if you're coaching with a good coach, awesome. Stay with that coach. I'm here to help you keep making money front and center, but you need to show up at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time here on Shanda On Demand. All right, you guys. God bless. I'll see you tomorrow. Peace out. All right, you guys. Bye.